I can see the resemblance. Yeah, I can definitely see the resemblance. Yeah, it definitely looks like them. Absolutely. And it's public domain as well. So they can do whatever the fuck they want with this movie. Create a horror movie that is just completely weird and unexpected. And caught me off guard, not gonna lie. This will be so fun. Like, I hope it's a fun, bad movie though. Even though it looks very shit. I just hope that I will enjoy, like, talking about this. By the way, this video, well, this movie is not self-aware. I thought it was self-aware, but it's not self-aware. It is pretty much just satire, because the minute you literally listen to me talk over this, you will instantly realise that this movie is not supposed to be taken seriously. Like, you wouldn't really take this movie seriously, like I did, because I didn't really take it seriously. I just most likely laughed. Because it's bad and funny. They're considering making, like, twisted childhood, like, movies to scare children, and I'm like, why? Just looking at the cover, it isn't really that scary. Well, to me at least. I feel like it's just gonna be very predictable. I've decided to just do a movie review on it. Just, talk about the movie. In case you guys don't want to watch the movie, you're like, nah, I'm not gonna watch this shit. So you can watch me talk over this. Yeah. And anyway, yeah, this movie is, like, shit, but, like, no hate on, like, the actors or the director or the writer, even the editor making this movie. Like, I'm not here to, like, tell you to, like, stop doing your job. Like, don't harass anyone who's made this movie. This movie, they're just doing this to pay their bills. Like, because some of the people's acting are alright, some of them are a bit meh, but, like, at the end of the day, I'm just reviewing it, so, like, I make a series out of this, who knows. So let's get on with it. I like this opening scene where it's just sketches of a backstory to how they became friends. Like, that's kind of cool. The story begins with a narrator telling us the story of Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh and how he befriended these creatures in the 100-Acre Woods. There's Owl, Rabbit, Eel, Piglet, and Winnie the Pooh. Christopher Robin befriends these creatures in the 100-Acre Woods, but it goes well until Christopher Robin has to leave for college, leaving them to fend for themselves. Leaving them with absolutely nothing. You see images of them becoming so skinny and hungry. In order to survive, they decide to eat Eel. Eel, of all people, why him? Why him? They blame Christopher Robin for this and decide to get revenge on him, even though they're the ones who ate Eel. But yeah, they have a funeral for him and they vow never to speak again. 5 years later, we get Mary and Christopher Robin walking into the woods because Christopher wants to show Mary, Winnie the Pooh and the gang. So they walk into the 100-Acre Woods. Mary goes on about saying that it's okay to have an imagination, everybody has imagination, and Christopher, like, denies us, saying that it's not in his imagination, this is real. You can see by Mary's face, like, she's like, this is bullshit, like, this ain't real. But they carry on walking into the woods, further and further, looking for these creatures. It's a very, very long scene. Like, this isn't the only scene that is long. There are more and more scenes that are very long and even worse. Mary does convince him that they aren't real, but as they're, like, about to go, he hears something in the distance and then just runs, and then Mary chases him. Yeah, he's just running and just shouting poo, poo, poo. Can you imagine just shouting that out of context? It just sounds so weird. Then he's surprised that the place has changed after 5 years. Well, it's been 5 years, what do you expect? And then just looking at Mary, she looks shit scared, and Christopher Robin tells her, there's nothing to worry about, you're safe in this dusty-ass hideout. They come across this abandoned place that is very gloomy and dark. They see this piece of paper, and it is so dark I cannot see a single thing of what it says. Like, I can't see anything in that piece of paper, it's just little scribbles and that. What is that? We never know what's in the piece of paper anyway, so who cares? They hear someone coming and they hide. You see footsteps and you see some guy onto the bed just sleeping for like hours and hours. I say hours because it goes from daytime to nighttime. How long have they been under that, like, bed. Like, they've been under there for like 6 hours straight. They do eventually get out and they try to run away. Like, they are just looking around, and Mary does run, but she stops for a second, and then out comes Piglet and just strangles her. While Christopher Robin is telling Piglet to stop. He's like going, Piglet, stop, 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 please stop. And then Piglet pushes him down on the floor, and then Christopher Robin just watches Mary just getting strangled. He does absolutely nothing. He just goes, please, please stop, Piglet, please. Eventually, Mary dies. She just, dies as Christopher Robin just watches. He just runs off crying. Didn't even help her. Just didn't even help her while she was fighting for her life. Oh, and out comes Winnie the Pooh, who just looks like a guy in a mask. Yeah, I don't know who they're trying to fool. Like, I can clearly see where the mask ends. Like, it is just guys in masks. Like, you can buy one for £20 online. Christopher Robin also says this really funny line that just made me laugh. He goes, Poo, please, you gotta help me. It's Piglet. He just killed my wife. And I was like, that was just funny. Isn't Mary your fiance? Why are you saying wife? Anyway, there's a really long scene where Christopher Robin is pretty much begging for Pooh and Piglet to spare him. Like, he's going, do you remember how we used to be friends? Like, I didn't mean to leave you. Like, he just repeats that on and on and on as they are walking really slow towards him. They're walking so slow, it goes on and on for way too long. They capture Christopher Robin and they presumably kill him, because you see like skeletons and somebody getting burnt alive. And then we hit to the title that looks like a title from the 1950s. And then there's a long ass scene with like news articles and everything. It just shows you like a lot of people that have gone missing. It just goes on for way too long, so I just decided to skip this part. We get a new main character called Maria. She's in therapy because of her trauma, because of something that happened to her in the past, which we don't know yet till like after this scene. She goes to a therapist to talk about how she's always on edge and she feels like somebody is coming after her. And the therapist sort of recommends her to go outside and like distance herself from like the loud noises. Basically go somewhere quiet. Which happens to be the forest, where nobody gets murdered at all, where it is the number one safest place to go to. Well, for me, I don't really like going there. They stop to get more fuel for their car, and Maria decides to go inside and see if there's anyone in so they can get some fuel. A man comes out and tells her that they don't have any fuel. Those machines that you just saw, they're old as fuck, so you ain't gonna get any gas. And yeah, it's just very awkward. Like, it's just really long. She bumps into this woman, and again, this scene is just awkward. It's just unnecessary. It's just, I don't know why it's even included in this movie. It doesn't do anything to the story. Maria's friends also join her on this holiday, because yeah, why not? It's better than going on your own, to be honest. I'd rather go with friends. The girl with the glasses decides to take everybody's phone, which is a bad idea. A really, really bad idea. I say it's a bad idea because one of the girls is late and she's looking for directions on where the cabin is, and they've just taken their phones and she's calling them, wondering where the fuck this place is. So maybe taking their phones was not a good idea, seeing as one of them is late. She also walks into the woods to get signal, and I'm like, why are you walking in the woods? That is just stupid. But yeah, she sees Pooh in the distance, drops her phone and screams and runs. Yeah, this chase scene is just really, really weird and funny. Like, it just moves, the camera's moving, I can't really focus. She comes towards this abandoned warehouse and decides to hide inside. That's not a good hiding spot, because he can clearly see you, or he'll know where you are. Like, it's not a really good hiding spot. But yeah, she hides there and he's just looking around to find her. This next scene I cannot show because it involves nudity, but unfortunately he finds her and then he grabs her head and then grabs her shirt and then strips her top off, and her titties are just shown literally in the movie, which made me like laugh. I was like, what the hell? And he bashes her head against the wood chipper, completely just smashes her head in. She dies. He throws her body into the wood chipper, and she gets ripped apart, and her legs are still moving while she's being thrown into the wood chipper. Like, her body has been cut in half and her legs are still moving. Don't understand what was the point of why her shirt needed to be ripped off. Like, I don't get why they even did that. It didn't have a purpose. It was just weird and random. More and more shots of the woods. Yay, more shots of the woods. For no reason other to just build up tension. We cut to this lovely scene where there are two couples that are having their issues and they're just talking through how one of them doesn't want to rush through something, and the other one is kind of sad because she prepared this like romantic scene for her. But yeah, this story doesn't really get any development. Like, it's never shown again, which is kind of sad because like I kind of wanted to see more of it. Another scene where this girl is doing her makeup and she's just dancing around, and this scene was just pointless as well. There's a lot of pointless scenes in this movie. Throughout this movie you're gonna see that isn't like needed because it just goes on for way too long. Maria talks to the girls and tells her why she decided to take this vacation. She decided to take this vacation because there was a stalker trying to follow her and trying to strip her while she was falling asleep. There's even a scene where Maria looks out the window and the stalker is just right there, which is just so terrifying, and it scared me. I was like, ugh, what the hell? As I mentioned before, Maria was just asleep and the stalker was just there watching her sleep, and he was stripping her top off really slowly, and it creeped the hell out of me. I was like, what the hell? And she wasn't even like awake, she was just full on asleep. She does wake up eventually and sees him and then screams. The stalker got arrested because they found images of Maria in his laptop. We see Pooh covered with blood on his face. We see Piglet on a bicycle just exercising, which is funny, not gonna lie. Christopher Robin turns out to be alive. He's just being tortured by Pooh. Like, again, he's just repeating the same word again. He's just begging. He's like, please, please stop. I know you are good. Like, he's just pleading. He just wants to get out. He wants Pooh to just stop killing people. As Pooh is just drooling on him with honey. Gross. He's like, do you remember the good stuff we did together? Like, the you that I remember is still in there. And Pooh, like, has a flashback of him with Christopher Robin as a child. And you just see like the young version of Christopher Robin just being like, I'll never leave you, Pooh. Like, I will always be with you. We cut to a scene where Pooh is just drooling out honey, which is just disgusting. He even cries out honey as well. And then he just smashes up the place. I guess he's just angry because the memories must have triggered him or something. Because if you remember, he mentioned, I'll never leave you, ever. And I guess that was a fucking lie. Grabs this tail, and is that Eeyore's tail? Literally, is that just Eeyore's tail? So much for respecting your friend's death, but you just collect his tail and use that as a prop? Anyway, he starts whipping Christopher Robin with that tail. He just carries on whipping him, and this scene, it's just so stupid. Winnie the Pooh even brings out a skeleton of Mary, and Christopher Robin has a bloodbath with Mary's blood. This scene of Laura just taking selfies, she somehow got her phone back and she's just taking pictures of herself, and she sees Pooh in the background, and instead of just getting out of the pool like any normal person would, she decides to just shout, are you stalking Maria? A normal person would just go inside and alert their friends, but she just goes, whatever. You're not ruining my night, you fat freak. And then she just gets back into the hot tub. And then you'll just see in the background, Winnie and Piglet are just approaching her, like, in a creepy way. It's not really creepy for me, I just find it a bit goofy, just because they're just guys in masks. They chloroform her really quickly, and they take her, I mean, she was in the pool. I don't know why they didn't just drown her, but okay, I guess they want to be creative. Then we see Pooh in the car, and Laura's just tied up. She wakes up and she sees that she's tied up by Piglet and Winnie, and Piglet comes with her with a hammer, holds her down, and Pooh decides to drive while Laura is screaming, and I can't show this scene. Winnie drives and squishes Laura's head in, and you just see blood coming out of Laura's head, and it's very, very, like you can tell it's CGI, but I can't show it. I'm not going to show it. Her head gets decapitated by Pooh, because Pooh ran her over. I don't know how he has the ability to drive a car, but Piglet just laughs his ass out. He's just laughing. Two of the girls hear a scream and they go out to investigate, and they see that one of their friends' head has been decapitated, and they freak out and they go back inside to inform the other two girls. They see the word "get out" is written outside the window, and Maria goes, "Whoever did this probably wrote that." No, Maria, really? Really, I didn't know that. Thanks for letting me know about that, Maria. One of the girls suggests that they should get a weapon to defend themselves, which is a good idea. Defend yourself from this guy in a mask. Oh, out comes Pooh with a machete and some bees? What? Since when can he control bees now? The girls get scared, and Winnie is just looking at them in a weird way. Like, he's just looking like, hey. And then there's another shot where he's also looking out for them. It's just a weird angle, it makes me laugh. Maria starts crying, thinking that her stalker is out to get her, which makes no sense, because she just said her stalker got arrested, but the two girls persuade her that it's not her stalker, and it can't be your stalker, and yay, we finished the stalker storyline. Like, it's never brought up again. Like, it was just pointless then. I guess we didn't really need it. I mean, I would have preferred it if the stalker was Winnie, but I guess they'll never bring it up, so that's the end. They realise that Laura left the door open, so they decide to go and close the door. Maria only now just remembers she brought a gun with her to this holiday, but she somehow misplaced her gun. She has a revolver gun. A revolver gun. What? You have a revolver gun in England? I was expecting it to be a normal gun that I usually just see in TV shows, but no, it's a massive revolver gun that's bigger than her. And I'm like, what? How the hell did you end up getting that? What? By the way, she has a good aim to shoot Pooh, but she doesn't use it. Like, that's a good shot, but she doesn't shoot. The two girls are trying to find a way to escape, and they have this, like, little reunion saying that, you know, they like each other, and out comes Piglet and he bitch slaps her, and then she falls into the pool. No one pushed her, but she just falls in. Then Piglet uses a chain to grab her, which is ridiculous. Why using a chain? Then he gets his hammer and then he just slowly goes down the pool when she can just easily get out. But she swims, and this scene just goes on for way too long. We just see some underwater shots, and he's trying to get her, and yeah, this goes on for way too long. Like, I think I might just speed this up and edit, but yeah, eventually she just gives up, and he hits her, and she dies. She had time to get out of the pool anyway. He was going really, really slow, and she was just chilling in the pool when she could have just climbed out like any normal person would. But anyway, Zoe passes out. I think her name's Zoe, I don't know, but yeah, she passes out. Meanwhile, the two girls are still on the stairs, but they leave, and they go and see that one of their friends is being killed. Pooh and Piglet are walking really goofy, and they've just taken one of the girls. You see Pooh is just, like, smothering, like, honey in his face, and he's eating it weird. It's just so gross and uncomfortable. Like, who wants to watch that? He does this dramatic turn, which is just weird, and why? It's just funny. I just found it really funny. He also starts, like, smelling the girl with the blue t-shirt in a weird way. He's just, like, drooling on her, and he's just, like, smelling her. It's just so weird and uncomfortable. Then, using his rubber gloves, he just bitch slaps her. And then he goes on and on and on, and it just goes on and on for way too long until she passes out. Like, he's just bitch slapped her. Like, how am I supposed to take this seriously? I can't. The two girls find their friend and they free her while she is still unconscious, but they wake her up anyway. They come across the abandoned shack, and they find Christopher Robin. They free him. After they free him, he tells them that there's another woman who is also trapped as well, and that they need to go save her because time is running out. They bring out another random character. I think it's the woman from the gas station. She's tied up, and instead of freeing her, they decide to interrogate her because this is the best time to just do it. So she basically just tells them that Winnie and Piglet did this to her and that they speak broken English, and I don't know how she knows that because they don't talk at all, so I don't know how she knows that they speak in broken English. Free her and the ropes come off really easily, so she could have just escaped ages ago. She sees her reflection in the mirror and she's surprised that her face has been fucked up, and I'm like, why are you surprised? I mean, they were torturing you. Like, you shouldn't be surprised, you should be, like, angry. She decides to get revenge on them by taking one of the girls' gun and then just goes and confronts them, which is the last thing you would do, especially if you know what they're capable of. She goes out and, like, looks for them, shouting their name, and the girls call her mental, and I'm like, the audacity to call her mental when you're just watching, because they just watch. Like, you could just run and save yourself, because you don't need to watch it, because let her, fend these creatures on her own. Like, you guys can just run, but they don't run, they just decide to watch. She wastes the bullet for no reason. Oh, out comes Piglet, and they decide to just walk around the fire, which is kind of funny. I can't tell if this is a good shot or not. It seems badass though, probably. But as she decides to shoot, she runs out of bullets, and we realise that Maria only put one bullet in the revolver gun, which is just stupid. Oh, out comes Pooh as well, just drooling all over the place, and he does something to her. I don't know what he does, as Piglet just laughs hysterically. He pours honey onto her, and Piglet eats her face, and she dies, while the girls just carry on watching. It's even worse as well, because Maria just screams, and then Pooh notices her, and then he just chases her. And the girl with the glasses, but then Zoe, I forgot her name again, just stays, and then gets the hammer and just hits Piglet with it. Pick up this torch, and they're like trying to hit Winnie with it, and Winnie's like, ugh, ew, get that thing away from me. Like, he's just like dodging it and everything. It made me laugh. Like, it's like he's squatting a fly. It's like, you could tell he's a human being. Like, this scene was just ridiculous. And then he chases them after. This lighting is so bad. I can't see anything really, because the shaky cameras and the lighting doesn't help. Piglet is tied up by one of the girls, the one who stayed behind, and she's just like talking to him and punching him and that, and he's getting what he deserves. Pooh hears this from a distance, by the way. By the way, they're really far away from the place, so just remember that, because this scene is really, really strange. The girl who I keep forgetting her name, she is like currently killing Piglet. She takes too long, by the way. She is talking to him, and she does kill him eventually, and he dies, but she just watches his body. Winnie hears this, teleports there, and then he sees the girl, puts a machete right through her mouth. She dies. The two girls somehow is back from the woods to the cabin. Like, everyone's teleporting. Like, what's going on? And they see their friend, like, dead body, and then they run. So they stop again, then they run again, and then Winnie is just swinging that shit all over the place. Like, he's just trying to get them and kill them. Like, he's running. They stop in the middle of the road, and a car is approaching them, and they ask for help, saying, "What you guys doing? Like, what's wrong with you guys girls? Some of them think that they're on drugs, and because they tell them that Pooh is chasing them, they see Pooh and then they're like, what the fuck is that? And then one of them goes, that's not a human. He ain't a bear either. So what is he then? Like, he's clearly a human. He's got legs. He's got shoes. He's dressed up like a human. It's just a guy in a mask. But anyway, they approach him and they confront him. They're like, what have you been doing to them girls, huh? With their American accent. And they're like, they think that they think that he's just picking on them. They grab weapons and one of the rednecks hits Winnie with it and it does fuck all. They all beat him up and they do these weird expressions on their faces and it just goes on for way too long. It was just getting to the point now where I was watching the movie and I was like, just get on with it for crying out loud. Just hitting him and like he's not going down, and one of them has a glass bottle, hits Pooh over the head with it and he gets mad, turns around and he is now a giant somehow. And I shit you not, this is what he does. He bitch slaps someone's face off, and you just see like blood all over half of his face. And then he karate chops someone's hand off, and he goes down the floor. I don't know how that's even possible. Like it confused me. And then stomps on his head, and then he slices one of the guy's throat, and he dies. And then he has the ability to control bees now, and then he just orders the bees to kill him as he is running, and then Pooh just leaves to finish off the girls. By the way, the two girls were just watching again. They were just in the car watching. They could have just ran, or they could have just drove off. Like, they could have, but they just decided to watch. They drive off. Pooh is behind them, and he's trying to grab them. Like, he is, like, on top of their car, and then he's just bashing the window, and then one of the girls is, like, screaming really loud, and it made me laugh. And she just, like, starts hitting, like, the rooftop of the car, and she's, like, hitting it, and I'm like, that's not gonna do anything. And the amount of time I was just telling them to just hit the brakes, he'll fly off. Because this scene, again, went on for too long, and Maria eventually, like, hits the brakes, and then Pooh just flies off, and then Maria and the girl pass out. Maria wakes up, and she sees that the girl with the glasses is being dragged away by Pooh, and I have to remember that it's a dude with a mask. He decapitates her head somehow, and Maria screams, and then I like how he just shows Maria the head. It was so funny. He's like, here's your dead friend, I've got her head. And then he walks slowly towards her, throws the head onto the windshield. She opens the windshield wipers and she's just smothering the blood. Grabs her out of the car and he's about to kill her with his weird laugh. Then Christopher Robin comes out of nowhere and just hits Pooh with his car. Christopher Robin checks if Maria's alright, and this goes on for way too long again, but then turns out Pooh is still alive and he carries on killing Maria. And yeah, Maria pretty much. And Christopher Robin is like pleading for Pooh to stop. Like, again, he's repeating himself. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? You know why he's doing this. And then he kind of like pleads for Pooh to stop. And then Pooh responds with, you left. And then slits Maria's throat and she dies. Yep. The poor girl Maria's had a lot of bad luck in her life. Like, she had a stalker chasing her. She had, like, Winnie the Pooh coming after her and her friends, only to just get killed. Christopher Robin seems to care more about Maria than Mary. Like, your fiance just died and you didn't even help her, but then you care more about Maria, who you barely know. Like, I just found that a bit odd. But yeah, Maria dies and Pooh just, like, looks very sad, and I'm like, why are you sad? You did it, you silly bitch. But Yeah, as Pooh just carries on just stabbing Maria. Like, Maria's dead, why are you stabbing her? Like, he carries on stabbing her as Christopher Robin watches for a second and then just runs off crying. And then cool shots but unnecessary. And the movie ends, guys. It's finished. Yay! What the fuck was that? A conclusion. If let me just call it that. I don't know. I don't know what to say. So, let's talk about the positives. I mean, I guess Maria's acting in therapy was kind of alright. Like, I think Maria's acting is the only one I like because it's not like over the top or sarcastic. Like some of these people's acting, I don't think they were even trying. But yeah, but she just had there were a lot of silly dialogue she had in her lines. The sketches in the opening were quite cool. Like I liked how they were giving us like a backstory of like who Winnie the Pooh was and who the friends are and how Christopher befriended them, and that was kind of nice. Like I like the sketches. And the pool lighting was kind of cool. And the fire towards the end of the movie was kind of nice. Like that was a cool shot where Winnie was just walking towards it and the fire just like was just in the background. That was kind of dope, not gonna lie. So there was some good stuff like in this movie, so I give them credit for that. So on to the negatives. Oh boy. If you guys noticed before that, you know, the girl with the glasses took their phones away, and did she fucking put their phones in like a river or something? Like, because they don't take their phones. Like they don't like use their phones after to call the police or to like call for help. They just like forget that they have their phones, and I'm like, that's like the first thing you would do. You would call the police. You grab your phone and call the police, but they don't use it. So I was kind of pissed because, well, there was like, it's not like their phones was in like a cupboard and it was locked. Like it was, if you guys saw it in the movie, their phones were on like a table. Like I didn't add this whilst I was editing this, but their phones were just on a table because Laura retrieved her phone. And then she was using it, you know, to take pictures for Instagram and that, or Snapchat, whatever. So they had phones, but they just didn't use it. So wow. Didn't know their names. I knew a few of their names because either the characters would say their names again and again, and it just gets stuck in my head. But like, there were a majority of them that I could not remember their names because they're just like pointless characters. The deaths were stereotypical, they were boring, they weren't that great. Pooh and Piglet, oh my god. I mean, just looking at them is just already just a red flag. I mean, just like, look at them. Like, at least Pooh kind of looks like Pooh that we know, sort of. If Pooh aged 80 years old, had bags under his eyes, and yeah. But Piglet just looks nothing like Piglet. I don't even recognize him. Like, man has horns. Fucking hell, he has horns. Is he a pig? I don't even fucking know what he is anymore. Why are they wearing clothes? Why are they wearing clothes? Like, they're clearly humans wearing a mask. They're wearing fucking clothes and shoes. Like, you're not fooling anyone, like I said in the beginning. Too many long scenes. There were so many long scenes. Like, I remember just, like, editing this and I was like, jeez. I was like, Jesus, this is just so long. Like, why didn't they cut this out? It was just really long. Like, I guess they were trying to hit that hour-minute mark. Like, you know, they were trying to hit 1 hour of movie because this movie is short. So they were like, you know, let's add this unnecessary shot where everyone's just walking around for like 10 minutes. Even with like Winnie and Pooh walking slowly, like that scene went on for too long. I was like, just get on with it. I don't know why they're after the girls. They didn't do anything. They were just enjoying their vacation, and suddenly they were targeted by Winnie and Piglet. I mean, Christopher Robin went to college and left you guys, so you should be after him, really. I don't know why they were after the girl in the gas station and why they killed the rednecks and the girls. I don't know why they did that. Like, it's like their reason for killing Christopher Robin is so stupid because that is just, it's not a good reason. Like, a guy went to college, so deal with it. Deal with it. Like, you're making it sound like he moved to another country or something. Well, yeah, where the fuck were Rabbit, Tigger, and Owl? Like, I didn't see them. We know what happened to Eeyore, he got eaten. But did the other three, sorry, die? Did the other three die? I guess we'll never know. They claim to be hungry, but they look like they're pregnant, so the writing is so bad, like it doesn't make sense. But yeah, anyway, so that's my review on this. Please don't harass anyone who made this. Like, I'm not trying to like tell them to stop doing what they're doing. Like, they are coming out with like interesting movies, so I might do a review on that. I heard there's a Bambi and a Peter Pan one coming out, so I'm gonna watch that. So if you want me to do a review on that, let me know and I'll get that done. But I have other stuff that I need to do and edit, so if you guys want me to do more of this, let me know. If you guys have any ideas of what I should do, any reviews I should review, any movies I should review, sorry, let me know down below and I'll get back to you guys. I've just done a sequel and I'm gonna do a review on that as well, because apparently the sequel is a massive improvement to the first movie and it actually has a story. Yeah, so like and subscribe, guys, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!